Amanda here, and it's time for an indie makeup roundup video. I have a bunch of exciting new and new-ish releases from indie beauty brands that I want to share with you today. There's some really great stuff here, some interesting new products, a brand new brand. I have the Nomad Air Collection, the new 2 Up palette from Lethal Cosmetics, and a new to me brand is Wicked Widow. I know that they're not a new brand, but they're new to me. I have their Graveyard Smash palette, which I, spoiler alert, really like. And also a brand new brand that I'm especially excited to talk about because this is a European brand. I know that a lot of my European friends have a hard time getting their hands on North American indie brand releases, especially with how expensive shipping and customs can be. So I'm really excited about this new indie brand based out of Poland. I'm going to give you all the details. We're going to look at all these things up close, their packaging, swatches, and I'm also going to show you the Dots Cosmetics eyeshadows in action because that's what I'm wearing on my eyes today. Another spoiler alert, I really like them. Let's get to the fun part and dive into these products. We're starting off with the Wicked Widow Graveyard Smash palette. This palette is currently available on the Wicked Widow website and it's priced at $36 US. I posted a look a couple days ago using this palette in conjunction with another one you're going to see later on in the video, the Nomad Air palette. So if you want to see this one in action, I do already have a video available for you. And I will link that in the description box if I remember. If I forget, just remind me and I'll add it. This palette does come in a cardboard sleeve, but the sleeve has the exact same image on the front and ingredients list on the back. I always like when the ingredients are on the palette itself, just in case you need to reference them. And then inside we do have a small mirror and then 8 shades laid out. This is sort of sideways layout as far as what we're used to from rectangular palettes, but I really like this color story. It's colorful without being too jumbled and all over the place. I can see how all of these different colors work together. These shades work really nicely in quads, either the squares of 4 next to one another or in the columns of 4. I just like the way that this all vibes together. It feels spooky and Halloweenish without being too on the nose. And if you go and watch the Get Ready With Me where I use this palette, the shades work really nicely. Formula-wise, they're beautiful. Color-wise, it's right up my alley. I love purple and green. This chartreuse matte shade is just calling my name. All in all, I've really enjoyed this one and it definitely makes me feel confident in purchasing another palette from the brand because I've had such a good experience with this one. Now we're going to move on to the Nomad Air Collection. This is a little set that you can buy where you can get this bag with all 4 pieces, and the set, the frequent flyer set, is $89 US. However, all of these pieces are available to purchase individually except for the bag. The only way to get this travel bag is to get the frequent flyer set. This set's actually been out for a while, so I've had a chance to use a lot of these things, and I definitely have some favorites that I prefer more than others. Personally, I'm just not a fan of the lip salve because it has a florally rosy scent, and I just do not like rose scents at all. So formula-wise, it works great. I actually like to use this on my hands too. I get really bad dry hands, so I'll put a little bit of this over my knuckles if I'm going to be outside to sort of protect my skin. But I could not tolerate this on my lips just because of my own personal preference of absolutely despising rose scented things. Now, the face cream I have not used on my face. I've been having some skin allergic reactions lately, so I am not trying to switch up my skincare and make it worse. However, I have been using this on my hands and it works beautifully. It's rich and nice, but it's a little too expensive for like a hand lotion for me. So that's kind of a pass as well. However, I have been loving this face mist. It has a really nice, fine but strong mist. So I've been using this as like a hydrator and also to dampen my brushes and my sponges, and I really, really like that. So the face mist and the travel palette are my absolute favorites from the collection. This little travel palette I mentioned in my Get Ready With Me that at first I didn't think too much about this. It was just sort of like, a little basic neutral palette. But as I used it, because I still want to give everything a chance, whether or not I'm feeling super excited about it, the more that I've used it, the more that I've continued to go back to it. The Nomad eyeshadow formula is just so lovely. They have buttery, soft matte shades that blend easily and wear beautifully. The shimmers are bright and shiny and one swipe, just beautiful. I've been using this as a companion palette. I can see this being a great travel palette for somebody that really likes to stick to more neutral looks. However, I love to use this as a companion to more colorful shadows where I need a little bit of that grounding neutral touch because I am a half neutral, half colorful type of girl. So this has been a great, reliable little companion palette, and I like it so much more and use it so much more than I ever expected to. It makes great sense theme-wise for the brand, and overall, I just have really been liking the palette and the face mist. Now we're going to talk about the Lethal 2-Up palette. This is the follow-up to their previously released 1-Up palette. The 2-Up palette is priced at $40.50 US dollars, and it is a 10-pan palette. The star of the show, in my opinion, for this palette is definitely the packaging. They went with the old school video game style. It's giving Game Boy. I love the little shifty greenish screen where you can see all the different video game references as you move the palette around. It's clever, it's cute. I love the styling. Unfortunately, this is my favorite part of this palette. There are a couple of things that I just personally, preference-wise, struggled with. First of all, I do not like the dead space in here. I never like that. It's not personal to this palette or this brand. You know, I love Lethal Cosmetics. I just don't like all the dead space in the palettes. It's off-putting and it just feels incomplete to me. The color story I like. I don't mind the color story at all. I can see where the inspiration is. I can see how these colors fit together. Personally, I would be using this with a little neutral companion palette just to bring some of these colors into my personal style. But my other complaint is that I struggled with two of the mattes. So the shade Sprite and the shade Level, both of those mattes were just not really working well for me. They do work a little bit better on the eye than in swatch, but I think you can tell compared to the other mattes in this palette, they're just a little bit drier. I couldn't get them to be opaque and solid like I wanted them to be. The shimmers are beautiful. It just isn't right for me, I think. This one just isn't hitting right for me. I still love Lethal. This just isn't a match for me personally. Now we're going to move on to the Dots Cosmetics. They have a modular setup here, same as the Lethal palettes with the little holes in the back. They have this thing that they call the pin, and it's meant to push through and pop out the shadows because all of their shadows are magnetic, all of their palettes are magnetic, and they can be rearranged and redesigned as you please. I absolutely love that. I am a build your own palette type of girl, so I like the whole modular design for all of their palettes. Even their curated palettes are in this same mix and match type of layout. So this little 6-pan magnetic palette has one of their collections inside. So I'm going to show you the Sweet Treats collection. This is 5 duochrome eyeshadows, and these are softer as far as duochromes go, but I think because it has the Sweet Treats type of theme, that it's supposed to be a more soft, subtle pastel type of vibe. Even though these are more soft and subtle, they can be a bolder look if you layer them on top of either a cream base or even on top of a more opaque matte shadow. And I think one of the things I'm most impressed by is how affordable these are. I don't love using that word because what's affordable to one person isn't necessarily affordable to another person. But I also don't want to use the word cheap because that's not accurate. That implies a lack of quality. And I think that these are really impressive quality wise. So I don't want to imply that they're not. These are cruelty free and vegan. These are made in Poland. And in general, the eyeshadows are around $5 a piece or less. This whole C'est La Vie palette is just over $40. And I wasn't really sure what to expect. This is a brand new brand and they don't have a ton of products released. But when I saw the color story of this palette, I was immediately interested. I love the more true neutral neutrals that are in here. These sort of grayish taupey tones mixed in with some rich jewel tones, a bunch of beautiful duochrome shadows, a couple of pops of peach and red. I just think this is exciting. It's definitely different, and quality wise, I was absolutely stunned by this. They have more of those soft, silky type of matte shades, but I think you can see here just from the finger swipe swatches that they are impressively pigmented. The duochrome shades in here are so pretty. These are definitely brighter and more opaque than the Sweet Treats collection. And all of these have that same modular design. So you could mix and match these shadows in with the Sweet Treats collection if you wanted some of those softer shimmers or if you wanted to change up the color story a little bit. I am going to use one of the Sweet Treats shadows in my eye look today just so that you can get an overview of both of these collections, the C'est La Vie and the Sweet Treats collections. I am overall very excited about this brand. I love the price point. I like the modular design. I like that it's available more readily, hopefully, to my friends in Europe and just generally outside of North America. I am very interested to see what else the Dots Cosmetics does because I am incredibly impressed so far. As far as everything in this video goes, I think this is the most exciting thing for me, especially the C'est La Vie palette. I just like the mix of neutrals and brights and jewel tones and duochromes. It's right up my alley style-wise. But the Sweet Treats collection is very cute too, and it plays well with their other shadows that they have offered. So this is my number one most exciting thing, my favorite thing that I tried in today's video. Also a big fan of the Graveyard Smash palette and that little Nomad Air travel palette. I've used those quite a bit over the past few weeks. And I'm also really enjoying that Nomad face mist. I wish that it was more refillable. I like the metal canisters, but I just wish that they sold refills for those so that it would give me more of a reusable, sustainable type of feeling. You can still reuse that metal packaging, but I just wish that they sold refills. Maybe they will in the future. I don't know. The other things didn't work as well for me. The face cream and the lip salve just aren't right for me personally. I'm sure that they work great for somebody else who has a different preference, a different skin need, but those really didn't work for me. And I'm also not vibing with the 2 Up palette. Again, I can see other people really using and loving that palette. I can see it being a favorite for a lot of people. It's just not a favorite for me. Style wise, just doesn't really work for me. I like the ideas. I love the theming, the design, everything. It's not something that personally super clicks and connects with me nostalgically since I'm not a big gamer, so maybe that's part of it. But overall, it's cute. It's a good idea. It's just not the perfect thing for me personally. I wore this particular eyeshadow look all day, the day that I filmed this, and it wore really nicely. I didn't get any shimmer fallout, maybe a little bit of fading in the crease area, but nothing catastrophic. I was impressed with the wear. I've used this palette a couple times since, and I just continue to really like it. I really want to sing the praises of this brand. I think this is one to watch over the next year. And I hope that they keep coming out with these cool single shadows. If there's more to work with, I would love to do a build your own palette or maybe do some eye look suggestions with this one. Let me know if you'd be interested in that because I really want to show more of the Dots cosmetics. That's everything for today. I would love to hear what grabs your interest. Have you already picked any of these up? Are you seeing these for the first time? What do you think about this new indie brand, the Dots Cosmetics? I always love to hear what you think about things too and what you're interested in. If you're interested in seeing more of any of these products, you want to see more tutorials with them, leave all of your thoughts down in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Today. What? Why did that sound so weird? So, eh, eh, bleh. It just suddenly got cold here, so I am wearing a hoodie. I hate being cold. I only want to be cozy. And I realize that my version of cold is not as cold as many folks are used to experiencing. But look, I don't live in a cold place. So I like not living in a cold place. I don't want to be cold. I don't want to be in a who's the coldest competition. I just want to be cozy. And some people like being cold. I don't understand that, but people love cold. They love snow. They love winter. I cannot relate to that, but you know what? I'm happy for you and I hope you live your best life during this cold season. I'll be indoors, bundled up until further notice. Doing great. That's all, folks. I think that outro's already taken. Little kitty cats. I went with the teal star today to match my sweatshirt. If I don't have matching nails, at least I can have matching earrings. All right, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you. It's always nice to see you around these parts, and I hope I'll see you back here again soon. And I hope you know that you are awesome. And so I hope that you have a day that is even a fraction as awesome as you are, because I love your face, and I will see you in the next one really soon. Okay? I'll be there. See you there. All right, love your face. Bye.